What is up, everybody? It is JT Sports. I'm back to you guys with another video. Now, I've noticed a good amount of people out there don't believe that the New Orleans Saints are going to make it to the playoffs this season simply for the fact that Jameis Winston is the quarterback. Now, everybody who has been subscribed to this channel for a very long time knows that Jameis Winston is my favorite player in the NFL. Now, I'm going to throw all my biases aside this video, and I'm going to be real. I think Jameis Winston most definitely can take the Saints to the playoffs. Now, I understand the reason why a lot of people don't have a lot of confidence in Jameis Winston. You think back to the last time he was a full-time starter in the league for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in 2019. He had 30 interceptions and over 30 touchdowns and threw for 5,000 yards. But here's the thing. I was talking to my guy Luke G about this a couple of weeks ago. The chances of Jameis Winston throwing 30 interceptions is the same chance me and you have of winning the lottery. Slim to none, because there are certain things in life that are anomalies, only once in a lifetime occurrences. And I think Jameis Winston having 30 interceptions in a year definitely is something that I doubt will ever happen again, because you got to take into context what happened during those 30 interceptions. Out of those 30 interceptions, 7 of those were not on Jameis Winston. You had drop passes that slipped through the wide receiver's fingertips that got picked off. You had wide receivers that just let the ball go through their hands. So, Jameis Winston really that year threw 22 interceptions. And on top of that, he's in a way better situation now with the Saints than what he was during his whole time with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I understand you can say, well, JT, after Tampa Bay got rid of Jameis Winston and brought in Tom Brady, they won a Super Bowl. And that is a valid point. But you also got to look. When Jameis Winston left and Tom Brady came in, the Buccaneers decided to address the offensive line, which was something that wasn't really great when Jameis Winston played. And on top of that, the run game was really effective, something else that Jameis Winston never really had. With the New Orleans Saints, Jameis Winston has a really good offensive line. You got Alvin Kamara in the backfield, one of the 5 best halfbacks in the NFL. You got Michael Thomas, one of the best wide receivers in the game, even though he missed a majority of last season. And you have Sean Payton, one of the best head coaches in the NFL and one of the best head coaches of all time. So you look at Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is in a really good situation. Another thing is that Jameis Winston didn't really have a lot of stability. When you are a first-round pick, it is really important that you have stability. You look at all the quarterbacks who have been drafted in the first round who haven't been bust, like Marcus Mariota, for example. One thing that they all have in common is that they went through several different head coaches, several different offensive coordinators. Look at Marcus Mariota from when he was drafted by the Tennessee Titans, for example. Didn't really have a lot of stability. Went through a new offensive coordinator pretty much every year, and that really hurts a young quarterback's development, because for a young quarterback to be successful in this league, they have to have stability. You can't continue to allow a new quarterback every year to have to learn a new system, especially at a very young age. That kind of holds back their development. Another example of this is Sam Darnold. So for me, I have all the confidence in the world that Sean Payton is going to be able to get the best out of Jameis Winston. Bruce Arians in 2019 got the best and the worst out of Jameis Winston. And I definitely feel like Bruce Arians is a tad bit at fault for what happened in 2019 with Jameis Winston. But at the same time, I believe that Jameis Winston going to the Saints is going to be the best thing that has happened to him. He sat behind Drew Brees for a year. He's learned the system. He's learned from one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. There's been several interviews that Jameis Winston has said that he chose to go to New Orleans despite having offers to get more money and actually play elsewhere, because he wanted to sit back, get humbled, and learn from one of the greats. And Jameis Winston most definitely was taking notes. This isn't, I know it's really cliche of everybody saying that, you know, the older quarterback, the vet, mentors the younger quarterback. And I know it sounds so cliche. And sometimes I question, like, you know, like, does a young quarterback really learning from a vet really affect his career? Like, does it really make him better? But I really feel like him sitting behind Drew Brees for a year actually did, because Jameis Winston definitely was really infatuated with Drew Brees. And I'm pretty sure he was taking a lot of notes from Drew Brees, studying how he prepares, studying what he does during game week, what he does before the game. And on top of that, Jameis Winston puts in a lot of work. Like, I don't see a lot of players who work as hard as Jameis Winston does. He lost weight. He's putting on a lot of muscles. Like, Jameis Winston is going to be an entirely different quarterback this year than what a lot of you guys are familiar with seeing back then when he was playing for the Buccaneers. And like I said, I trust in Sean Payton to be able to get the most out of Jameis, and I don't think that New Orleans would have brought back Jameis Winston if they didn't feel like he could play, because at the start of this offseason, the Saints had salary cap issues. They had a lot of things they had to rework, and with the salary cap problems that they had, they could have easily said, you know what, we're not bringing back Jameis Winston because we're already strapped for money. It wouldn't make no sense to bring back Jameis because we don't feel he can play. But New Orleans obviously saw something in Jameis Winston, and they brought him back for another year. Now, of course, he's still going to be in a quarterback competition with Taysom Hill. Ian Book maybe could have a say in the QB1 spot. But if we're actually, putting money down on this, I'm willing to bet $500 that Jameis Winston starts week 1 if I was a betting man. If you were to put $500 in my hand right now, you say, JT, you got to use this to decide and bet on who is going to be the starting quarterback for the Saints. I will put that on Jameis. Jameis has all the potential and all the talent in the world to be one of the best QBs in the game. When you look at Jameis, he led the Bucs to an 8-8 record in 2018, despite with all the turnover issues he had. He had 30 interceptions, over 30 touchdowns. So if he can lead the Bucs to an 8-8 record with 30 interceptions, imagine what he can do when he lowers that turnover number down. Now, he got LASIK surgery, which a lot of people feel like doesn't really have that big of an impact. But Jameis Winston has actually had, sight problems dating back all the way to his days at FSU. And some of you guys may be like, well, JT, LASIK isn't, going to be, that big of an impact on Jameis Winston. Listen, everything that you can do to better your chances for success matters. That's like people saying college is a scam. College doesn't matter. Like, I disagree with that statement. Anything you can do to improve your chances of having success in this world, you do it. Even if it's just a 0.1% increase of you being successful, you do it. Because that 0.1% could be the difference between you being successful and working a 9-to-5 at McDonald's every single day. That 0.1% chance of Jameis Winston's eyesight improving from that LASIK surgery could increase his chances of being a really good quarterback in this league and him being out of this league come the end of next year. So if you have an opportunity to improve your chances, even if it's by a little bit, you should take it. So I definitely believe that the LASIK surgery definitely is going to have a impact on Jameis Winston this year. Rather that be small or large, I think that's going to have somewhat of a say in how good he's going to be this year. Now, one thing that I have to say about Jameis Winston is that coming out of Florida State, he's not all that different now than what he was back then. He's still essentially the same quarterback that he was when he was playing under Jimbo Fisher. Still pretty reckless. Sometimes he struggles to read the defense, and he just tends to take more risk than necessary. Now, going to Sean Payton, having a year to sit back, learn the system, and also, read over coverages and go over film with Drew Brees, that's going to help Jameis Winston out a lot. That's going to help him, maybe get better when it comes to his pre-snap reads. Like, I think Jameis Winston has absorbed a lot from watching Drew Brees play. I absolutely believe that. And I believe that Jameis Winston definitely is going to be able to take the New Orleans Saints to the playoffs. If the Saints don't make it to the playoffs this year, I don't think it's going to be because of Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston definitely should be in the running for comeback player of the year behind Dak Prescott. And I believe that Jameis Winston definitely can turn his career around. He has all the tools at his disposal to be successful in New Orleans. He has a better situation now than what he ever had in all his years playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I believe in Jameis Winston. I know a lot of you guys probably don't, but let me know how you guys feel down in the comment section down below. Do you guys think Jameis Winston can take the New Orleans Saints to the playoffs this year in 2021? Make sure that you guys like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and college football videos. And thanks for watching.